Hello, YouTube. It is customary for us Russian speakers to use the word automat to call a lot of things that are shooting, firing, including submachine guns. Although this makes experts and just aficionados of the gun business angry, because automat is an abbreviated name for an automatic rifle, carbine, which is designed for an intermediate cartridge, something between a rifle and a pistol. And submachine guns are designed for their own cartridge, the pistol type. They just know how to fire bursts like machine guns. In this regard, the Kalashnikov assault rifle, an automatic assault rifle for 7.62 by 39 millimeter cartridge, and the Nesterov submachine gun 2. Moreover, after the adoption of the above-mentioned cartridge as a military munition, a request immediately came up for the creation of other types of weapons besides AK. Well, in 1961, Aari Ivanovich Nesterov, a graduate of the famous Izhevsk Mechanical Institute, proposed his own author's design of an assault carbine, which was called LR2, a легкий автомат, light machine gun, since the task was to create a lightweight version of the Kalashnikov assault rifle. Nesterov took a non-standard path. Instead of just taking the AK and trying to modify it, he decided to use technical solutions for the design of the Dragunov sniper rifle, abbreviation in Russian DSR. Let me remind you that the DSR had not yet been adopted at that time, and this project was at the stage of completion. The LR2 uses a limitation of the frame stock in the extreme rear position on the front receiver insert. Due to the elasticity of its walls, it was possible to reduce the effect of the impact of moving parts in the extreme position on the aiming of the weapon. Some in Russia state that Nesterov's product showed very enviable firing accuracy during tests. However, with single fire, obviously the advantages of the DSR design impacted this. Due to the placement of the return spring on the left side of the bolt carrier, its height has decreased, and therefore the height of the carbine as a whole. The weight of the product has been reduced to 2.15 kilograms. The magazine capacity is 30 rounds. The aiming range is 1,000 meters. It is also noted that in the upper part of the LR2 gas chamber, there is a hole for cleaning the gas outlet, which is blocked by a spigot in the combat position. In 1964, Nesterov proposed another solution, even more unusual, the LR4 automatic carbine. In this bullpup, the principle of using the recoil energy of the barrel during its long stroke was implemented, which significantly reduced the recoil of the weapon when fired. A bullpup firearm is one with its firing grip located in front of the breech of the weapon instead of behind it. This creates a weapon with a shorter overall length for a given barrel length, and one that is often lighter, more compact, concealable, and more maneuverable than a conventionally configured firearm. From the original finds, the return springs of the barrel and the bolt carrier are arranged concentrically on one guide rod. Inside is the spring of the barrel. Outside is the spring of the bolt carrier. Otherwise, the LR4 showed the same firing performance as its predecessor. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, neither one nor the other automat have gone beyond the experimental copies. But if it had happened otherwise, Soviet combatants would have run through Afghanistan mountains Well, bullpups. By the way, the development of Nesterov's fellow classmates Zorin and Pavarenkin, it was called LR3, was also not adopted. Although he was hardly happy about it, but the main thing is to draw the right conclusions, even from a failed project, because this will help other people avoid mistakes, take into account the advantages, and create something even much better. Aari Nesterov, based on the result of his work on his two submachine guns, came to the following conclusion. The automation scheme with a long barrel stroke allows you to widely change the recoil forces, the ratio of the colliding masses, and therefore the nature of the dispersion of bullets. The shooter, when firing from a machine gun with a movable barrel backwards, manages to react and actively resist the recoil impulse, as a result of which the machine gun receives lower angular velocities and vertical movements. The automatic rifle in the bullpup layout has better maneuverability in combat and marching position, is always ready to fire from commonly used manufacturers, allows you to use a more stable pose for firing from the standing position. The chosen scheme allows us to successfully solve the problem of gas contamination when firing from tanks and armored personnel carriers, since the sleeve is removed in the absence of residual pressure in the barrel. There are no exhaust vents, and the reflection of the spent sleeve occurs at lower speeds of moving parts. It is possible to use muzzle brakes more effectively, since the recoil force and braking process are not transmitted to the shooter. As for the bullpup, this find was not appreciated in the Soviet Union and Russia. Maybe it was correct to do so. Everything else has been taken into account and put into production. As for the designer, Aari Ivanovich Nesterov, who lived between 1935 and 2021, was a Soviet designer and gunsmith. He was born in Izhevsk, Udmurt, Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic. After graduating from the Izhevsk Mechanical Institute, he worked at the Izhevsk machine building plant as a design engineer and then headed the design bureau. He personally owns the authorship of the development of the hunting carbine bars, chambered for 5.6 by 39, designed by Bloom. Nesterov also created a sports standard SM2 rifle. In addition, under his leadership and with his direct participation, self-loading hunting carbines Medved 3, Izubr, Medved 4, sports rifle Олень 2, and air rifle PV, biathlon rifles under different registrations were developed. And it is also worth emphasizing that Aari Ivanovich was directly involved in the development of the famous Nikonov machine gun, the Abakan version. It should also be emphasized that he indirectly participated in the design of the sniper rifle, the future SVD. Although it is not so obvious, by the way, the concept of locking the bolt with misalignment in the first modification of the Izubr carbine also belonged to him. So that's what I wanted to let you know about this very unusual invention in the realm of fire weapons, in submachine gun type weapons. And I'll bring you more stories about Soviet and Russian designers and unusual weapons they created. And if you like my research, please support me kindly through the links you'll find in the description to this channel. Please like my videos and please tell others. Thank you.